Hi. As many of you already know who watch my videos, I've been placing them on the subject of retirement now for about 2.5 years. And as I've said many times, I've been retired now for more than 1/3 of my life. I turn 90 next year, April next year, and I've been retired for 30 years. And the subjects I talk about are not just simply pragmatic about retaining your health, remaining reasonably wealthy if you can do, and having a real zest for life. I tend to be a bit philosophical, and I have been most of my life. And I've been reading this book, A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. I think I've now read it. I'm on the 17th reading, just reading it for the 17th time. And Eckhart Tolle explains, as is simply common sense, everything goes in cycles. Our heart beats in cycles. We breathe in cycles. The tide comes in and out in cycles. The moon goes around the earth in cycles, and so forth. And our lives are exactly the same way. We come into being, we wax, and then we wane, and then seemingly we are no more. At least our physical bodies are no more. And if you believe that, if you believe that you're just a body with a brain inside, which is conscious of itself and those around itself, and that it comes into being from nothing, if nothing can exist, and then goes into nothing, then you put yourself under a lot of pressure when you get into the second half of your life. However, if you have a philosophy, perhaps a belief, that you are life itself, you are life with a centre of awareness with a will, and that is what you are, manifesting and using a body, developing a mind and using that mind, but that body and that mind are a bit like your motor car. You park it on the side of the road and you walk away when you die. If you have that sort of philosophy, life becomes a lot easier, because you realise that everything that you bring into life, everything you develop, every quality, every skill, then goes with you when you die. You take it within your immortal soul. Now, I know this is a bit hoo-hoo. Is that the way they say it today? If you are a religious believer, then you probably believe there's life after death, so-called death. You also might believe all of the other stuff that you've been taught, that there's a heaven and there's a hell and there's all this sort of stuff. Whether there is or not becomes your own belief. Now, I've told you before, a belief is only our personal belief. It's not the belief of other people. So what's the difference between belief and knowing? Knowing comes from our own personal experience. Our own personal experience is our truth. It isn't the absolute truth. It certainly isn't the whole truth, but it is as close as we're ever going to get to it ourselves. Our experience is our truth. And if we operate from that, we can't go too far wrong. Waxing and waning in life. We know that our physical bodies get stronger and more competent up to a certain point, and then there's a tipping point. Well, it's not so much a tipping point, it's a gradual going over the hill when things are not as good. And if we accept that, and yet still realise that we can defer the decline, hold it back, keep it in abeyance for as long as possible, then we can operate optimally from that position. This is why I say that you need to keep your body fit. You need to keep your mind fit. You need to go out there and pump iron and go to the gym and walk uphill and get the breath going. Do some yoga stretches. Keep the body supple. But also the mind. And one of the ways to keep the mind well is to have a purpose and live that purpose. It could be, for example, teaching other people something you've learned. This comes with nature. Those who know tend to teach those who don't know. And those who want to learn go to teachers to learn. This is the way it is. It's the same way in nature. But the essence of having a happy retirement is, I think, having a philosophy of life that appeals to both your body, or to all parts of you, keeps you in balance, body, mind and spirit. The body and the mind serve the spirit. The body and the mind are there to serve you, the real you. So long as you know that, so long as you realise that and work towards that, you will have a longer, happier, more satisfying, more productive retirement. That is, of course, my belief. Now, as a wise man said, and it's just an opinion, do not cherish opinions. I could be wrong. But then again, I work from the philosophy that I believe in at this time, knowing that it will change as I change. I hope you got something from this one.